we're assuming we know kind of what's going on with the changes.
You do.
Can you give some confirmation? Georgiades and Marshall will play?
They will play.
And
I imagine that's the major question: is can they play together? We're about to find out, but they'll certainly play.
So they'll start on the ground together before that?
That's probably a step too far for me to go to right now, but we're taking them both to play in the game on Saturday evening.
And medical sub, is that a decision that's been made yet?
Again, that's the one we make a bit closer to the game. We'll make sure we get over there, make sure everything's okay. We'll take a couple of travellers, but most of the boys we'll take will have played last night as well. So it's it's a bit of a balancing act between getting game time into players now and dealing with the rules that we have in place.
So the boys from last night, assuming Rocky's out, given his concussion?
Yeah, Rock's not coming with us, that's for certain, and he's actually over. Well, I expect he's over here now, getting assessed to see where he's at, and again, we'll look after him like we should.
How bad is it? Oh, sorry, one last thing.
I don't know on Rock. I've spoken to Rock. He's pretty well this morning, but that doesn't mean he's perfect. But I'll wait and see what the doc says when he sees him. I'd imagine in the next 15 minutes, to be honest.
And Conor Rosie, obviously, Ken has done everything. He's all okay.
Yep, he's playing. Tom, he's definitely on the side, and he won't be the medical sub.
So 2 changes. You're pretty strong, aren't you? Or are there any more, or just those 2?
No, just the 2. Yep.
I mean, it's a pretty. I'm sure there's some selection headaches at the moment, which are good ones to have, but it makes it hard as a coach, doesn't it, to tell some of the players they're not in because you're playing good football.
Yeah, but I think our group accept's not the right word. They're disappointed if they don't get a game, but they understand that their obligation is to make sure that we're ready to play against the opposition every week, and our group have been fantastic at that. They park their own disappointment and they become professional, and that's what we need them to be, and they've done that all the way so far for us. And it won't always be the case. Sides always have injuries. Both teams have got good players coming back into them this weekend, so it'll be exciting.
Are you able to confirm who else comes out of the side?
I should be able to do it. Farrell and Rockcliffe will come out of the side. They both played last night, so they confirmed themselves a bit.
Just on Rocky, how much of him going back and playing for the Magpies was about him being the medical sub 2 weeks in a row and needing a run?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was basically a lot about that because he's what we would have viewed probably our next best player in, but he's had a couple of weeks, and last week he didn't play at all. The first week he got 40 minutes into him, so there's that balance between how much is too much, and we think we're doing it reasonably well, and we've just got to continue to manage that through the season.
Do you think 2's about maximum 2 games?
I think it clearly depends on minutes you play. As I said, if Rock had played 40 minutes in the second week, I don't think we would have been as nervous. But because he got no minutes, we had to make sure we got some footy into him.
How much of him being the 23rd player is about Will and Drew's progression and potentially getting the spot ahead?
Yeah, I think I've had this question a few times. It's not about one individual player. It's about the team and the collective of the team. And it's not. Rocky's in pretty good form himself and has been in pretty good form, but the team has been playing well as a collective. And I think the balance of the team around the midfield we like at the moment and has been serving us well. So he understands that. But it's not just one player. To just sit there and say it's Willem, or we could say is it Willem, is it Ollie, is it is it Trav, is it any of the midfield type boys who are around? Is it Xavier Durs, is it Carl Amon? There's plenty of them that go through there. So it's a collective, and the collective are doing the job well at the moment, and that's why Rock understands why he's not in the team.
Clearly, you like what you're seeing in Will and Drew. How has he sort of progressed, having not played last season?
Yeah, I think I said through the week at one stage, we always have rated Drewy as a player, and we think he's had to battle some significant injuries over the last couple of years. We're sure that he would have played a lot more AFL football to this stage. Clearly, the injuries got in his way. We think he's he was drafted in the same draft, I think, with McCluggage from Brisbane. He played with him, and we watched a lot of that football that year. I know that with our recruiters with Parks, and we always thought Drew added a bit to what McCluggage's game was. So we think that hopefully he can come in and add that to some of our inside mids as well.
We've been betting up all week, Marshall and Georgiades playing together. Was it an easy decision for you, or was it a long part of the selection?
Easy Hayes is probably not so much easy. It's about that balance of the team, what you think you're going to do. What I do like about both boys is that they are significant players on the ground. They're not just tall marking players. Mitch is learning his craft daily. Almost hour by hour, he's getting better at all parts of his game. He's got incredible set of wheels. No one in our side, probably bar Raymond, can run any better than Georgiades. So we don't lose any run. We don't lose any effort. He's just learning when to use it and how to use it. And we know Marshall the same is. On the ground, they're very creative players for us, and they keep us quick. And I think the challenge for us now is to make that work. And we've got an enormous challenge this week going over there to play West Coast. And we need two rucks. We're playing Nick Nui. He's as good as ruckman as you're ever going to come up across in this game. So we've got to make sure we're ready to take care of what the tools are bringing for us, but also make sure we've got an eye on what that might cost us, and we've done that pretty close early.
So do you think if you were playing someone like a North or an Essendon, two rucks, that would be a discussion point if you were trying to play Marshall and Georgiades together?
No, I think if we feel like we've been wanting to have a look at it. We haven't had a chance. Todd had an injury through the pre-season as well. Mitch missed out of the side in round one, so this is our first opportunity really to see it together. I'm confident that they can work together. I'm confident that good marking players, just because they're a bit taller, as long as they're prepared to work defensively and contest for us, that they can actually stay in the side. And I have no fear of that happening, but the proof will be in the pudding.
Just on West Coast, obviously it's a huge task over there. I know you've got a good record there, but not going to be an easy one. Hostile crowd.
They're one of the good teams in the competition, no doubt. They've announced as a good team for a long time, and we're trying to get to that point where they've been every year. Those sides who have sat at the top consistently over their journey are the sides that they've earned that right, and they're a really good team. They play a distinct style. We'll go over there with confidence that we can beat them and play the way we want to play, but we know it's going the whole way. It's West Coast, Port Adelaide. They just seem to be a bit like that, those games. We've had some heartbreaks against them. We've had some joy against them, but they'll be as nervous as we are about the opposition, I reckon.
Do you approach the game differently for someone like a Nick Nui, or is it the same game plan?
Oh no, certainly you spend time on Nick. There's no doubt about that. He's such a dominant player, and he's such a good centre bounce team and stoppage team, which gives them the opportunity to first take it into their front half. And we know what their aerial threats are in their front half as well. So yeah, you do spend time on any of the quality of a ruckman like Nick Nui. There's no doubt about that.
Just on Mackenzie, you missed a little bit.
Yeah.
Where is he at?
He's in good form now. I think his last couple of weeks. Last night was a challenge because at the parade, the boys were on the end of a bit, so Trent stood up pretty well. I think his week before was really strong. He's ready to get picked in the AFL team. I have no doubt about that. But again, team's functioning pretty well, so he's got to make sure his form's right, and I think he's doing that as well as he can now. But he did have a couple of interruptions which set him back a little.
What did you make of the result last night? Out of interest, did you get a look at this?
No, I thought Norwood were really good, and I thought our boys hung in there pretty tough in the second half and did what they could. But I think that's round one. Norwood at the parade's never easy, and to their credit and to the way they've set up, they really hunted as well and got the job done. I'm sure that we'd like another opportunity against them, but it's a little while now.
Anyone else put their hands up selection-wise for you last night?
We think the challenge with the last night game is that they were dominated a fair bit, particularly in the first half. You don't lose that much form in one game, and you don't gain probably that much form in one game. So the people who are out there who are in consistent form, with Mead and Lean at Mackenzie, as you said, Mays, Hayes, they've all had pretty solid form behind them for a good period of time. Collectively, last night they didn't get what they wanted.
Lockie Jones got through?
Yeah, got through really well. Played with some power. Another player that I probably should have mentioned, and really, clearly we really like what Locke brings, but again, he's learning his craft and he's taking some steps every week.